definitely talk about that as well. And improving housing finance through mortgage market expansion and rent-to-own schemes. So with this one, again, I still have a few questions because currently, if you understand how the mortgage system works, it works with your age, it works with your salary and all of that. And so if you are looking at getting mortgage, are they going to negotiate with the banks to look at the percentages that will be taken off your salary, percentage of money that will be given to you, and all of that? So Haruna is here to speak to all of that. Enhancing power availability and affordability through 2,000 megawatts of solar power and net metering. And that will be it. For the rest, we'll talk about it. So let me start this conversation. Haruna, welcome once again.
Thank you.
All right, so I don't know where I should start this conversation from, if we should start it from the taxes. I think that the highlight is where we should start it from. I know you've received a few calls from people out there trying to understand some of the things that your flag bearer did mention.
Yeah.
The tax amnesty is one big conversation out there. Please, if it's possible, break it down to the ordinary man who might not understand what this tax amnesty is.
Okay, thank you very much, Rosalind, for giving me this opportunity this morning. After traveling hours from Takoradi to Accra, to wake up at 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that, but thank you for coming, though.
I think that is a call to duty to work for the New Patriotic Party and country Ghana. We launched our manifesto over the weekend on Sunday through our dynamic leader, the leader of the New Patriotic Party and the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, who has brought tremendous change to our democratic credentials, who has contributed a lot to how we help to reshape this economy. He has put through his vision, and the vision is grounded on the theme of the manifesto, and that is selfless leadership, bold solutions for jobs and businesses. Every leader is selected at a point in time to solve solutions or to solve problems. And for him to be selected at this particular moment, then we need a leader that would have bold solutions. Bold solutions because we have found ourselves in an era where the global situation is not very favorable to any country at all. And Ghana is not an exception. So we getting an economy under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, which has been able to turn around the corner and rebounding back. We need to build consensus and be able to put bold solutions to be able to solve some of these particular problems. Our manifesto is being put on 14 thematic areas. One of the areas for this particular manifesto is sustaining, expanding the Ghana's rebounding economy, which we think that we need to put together, make sure we are able to hold it to be able to support all the sectors that comes in. Also looking at creating new jobs, which is one of the thematic areas. Every aspect of these thematic areas, all the thematic areas fits into the creation of new jobs. Everything that you know you are doing, you need to look at how it's going to impact on the people, how jobs are going to be created, because in every development drive, you have input, process, output, and these particular process must be able to measure the outcomes and impact that is going to affect much positively on the people of Ghana. The third one is implementing wide-ranging tax reforms, which you have begun, and I'll come to explain more on this particular concept. The fourth part is building Ghana into a world-class digital economy. And this is very essential because we are moving away from what we do. Essentially, you don't continue to do the same thing at the same time because the world is changing from these manual systems to a digitalized system. So we are in the fourth industrial revolution where we need people who will be able to match up with the task. The fifth is to reduce the cost of living. Cost of living has to be looked at at this particular era. We have done a lot. People have seen the number of roads that we have done, the hospitals that we are putting together, a lot of government intervention. How do we build on to be able to create wealth so that at least the standard of living of the people is being reduced to the minimum, to be able to afford the ordinary Ghanaian the opportunity to be able to change their lives and also make impact in the future. The fifth is expanding the public infrastructure. Once we have been able to put up a lot of infrastructure, be able to support development drive, we need to expand this public infrastructure. How do we do it? It has been captured in the manifesto by His Excellency, the Vice President and the flag bearer of our party. Then providing better health care for all. Better health care for all because health is life. Once we say water is life, but health is very important. We are healthy, that is why we are here. So we need to look at those particular aspects as to how we are able to get a healthy citizens who will be able to support all sectors of the economy to grow. The eighth is implement affirmative action for women and girls. This has been on the drawing board for a longer time. It took a bold government in Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo to be able to pass the affirmative action bill into law. And I think that it is something that we have to look at and give equal opportunity to everybody or every facet of our life. Then expanding educational opportunities for all. Education is key. We have successfully implemented a very key and monumental project called the Free Senior High School, which is going to reduce the illiteracy level within our system and also to up the human resource of the country. What we have to do essentially in the next administration of the NPP government to expand the educational opportunities for all to be provided with some level of educational development. Then the 10th thematic area is to provide good governance. If you are doing all these things and you don't provide the platform, you don't give the indicators for governance is not being put well, I don't think that people will be able to enjoy and support all these systems that we are putting out. The 11th area is create care for the elderly. We have not essentially have any policy to support the elderly. That stands alone. So in signing a social contract with the good people of Ghana, it is good that we look at that particular area. And that is why we have captured it in our manifesto to care for the elderly in society. The next point that we are also looking at as part of the thematic areas is to protect our environment. We have all seen how Galamsey has affected this country. We have all seen how our water bodies has been spoiled and so many things, and even in the forest, we need to reclaim most of these particular sectors. So we are looking at these particular areas as part of our social contract. Then boost sports, creative art, and then tourism, which is key. There are a lot of untapped areas that we have not been able to harness, so that we want to look at all these areas. And finally, protecting our borders and keeping safe our neighborhood. It is good that we essentially look at this particular area because visibility within the security system has been enhanced by the employment of many internal security personnel, that is police. And then we have also installed a lot of cameras that is also helping. So visibility is key and keeping our security intact. Your first question was about us explaining on the tax amnesty. If you look at it, we said that we are going to offer a one-time tax amnesty to all Ghanaians and corporate entities. When you say this, there's always a scope of how you are going to do it. People will be asking, okay, if you want to offer a one-time tax amnesty, what is the scope of that? One, the tax amnesty will cover payments, taxes that has not been paid within a particular period. That is, let's say, before the assumption of our government in January 2025. People might have lacked in payment of taxes. Interest might have been slapped on these taxes. The principals has not also been enhanced. Interest to penalties also put on that. So what His Excellency seeks to do is that he's saying that tax amnesty from payment of taxes from the previous years, not previous year, previous years, meaning 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, back all the years that taxes has not been paid by companies, individuals, corporate institutions.
Is there a cap on the number of years?
No, there's no cap. Much as your tax is being updated to show that you have not been paying taxes to this particular period, all this will be accumulated and shown to the tax authority. The tax authority will bring it up, and all your taxes will be cancelled. That is what it means. We'll cancel all the taxes that you have not been able to pay. Then the other scope is about if you are cancelling the tax, are you waiving the interest and penalties? Because there are penalties that is attached to unpaid taxes. There are interests that accumulate on taxes. So the scope of this implementation is saying that you are not going to also be charged with a I can forgive you your taxes, but you have to pay interest. You have to pay penalties.
That is
so in this case, we are forgiving you
the penalties.
Forgiving you the tax, we are forgiving you the penalties, and we are forgiving you the interest.
So you are starting on a fresh note. Okay.
Fresh plates.
Okay.
What is the reason? What is the rationale behind this? If you look at the number of people that pay taxes in Ghana, the number of people that pay taxes in Ghana is very low. Why is it low? It's because the tax net is too small. Many people are evading taxes because of some of these bottlenecks. So we are taking this off, and we are implementing tax reforms that will be accommodative to corporate institutions, individuals to feel free to now pay taxes. It is better to pay taxes or to get a wide range of people paying taxes in small quantities that will make the bigger amount than to tax the very few individuals who will relent in their effort to pay taxes.
All right, so if I may ask this question with regards to it opening up so people can now pay, that's what you said, right?
Yes.
To get more people to pay, because it's better that it's not a closed bracket but an open bracket, so we get more people coming in to pay.
Yeah.
Now, some people feel that, if they come in to pay, because we didn't talk about, or he didn't talk about the fact that he will reduce taxes. He said, I will waive off these. You have an amnesty, because if you are owing penalties and all of that, from what you are explaining, is waived off. Now we come to a fresh slate. We are starting on a clean slate. As we start, what if I come in there and there's more tax put on me? What happens next?
You see, Rosalind, what happens in these particular systems is that this is a social policy. This is something that the government intends to do through a social contract. This is our plan. When you come to government and you are going to govern, you send in what we call the budget. These budgets will have cabinet approvals. The budget would indicate which tax has to stay, which tax has to go. The budget
and which tax can be added.
Yes. Okay. So the budget will clearly indicate the taxes that is going to be put. So you eventually see that when we came into government, we abolished so many taxes, about 17 taxes that we took away. We also reduced some of the taxes.
And you also brought on some new taxes.
We brought on minimal taxes that will not have that much effect on businesses. Because if you see a tax that is ranging between 17.5%, you bring it down to 5-something%. And then you come to increase a tax by 1.2%. Essentially, you have not even done anything, because you look at the percentage of tax you took away on one, from 17.5,
but that's not
maybe.
How the layman sees it. The layman sees it as you added on tax. They look at taxes like the e-levy, the emission tax, and all of that. So the layman, you are explaining it in the, the statistical way, but the layman is feeling that you have added on more tax.
And that is why you, myself, we are here to explain to the layman, because we need to let the layman appreciate how these taxes, how this economy is being run. So it is for us to educate, it is for us to inform, it is for us to further explain, to get them to understand that this is how the system works. So it is the budget that has the government's vision at that particular economic year, that this is how I want to do it. And in doing it, I am going to make sure that there's going to be a tax amnesty. Clear. Then the further programs and activities that will come will now tell you what is going to be the category of taxes, which tax must stay, which tax must go. And essentially, it will also be telling you.
Added. Let's
take
that one out.
Essentially, it will also
it
is also be telling you how much money you seek to generate. And that is why he's saying that if I am able to do all these things, then there is no need to have the electronic tax. That is the e-levy. There will not be need because the gap that the e-levy would have been solving, the widening of the tax net, getting more people to pay the taxes has taken away that particular gap, and there will not be need for that. Because essentially you want to get money, you want to get more money for development, but you need to look at the areas that you need to get them from.
So